In today's fight news, we start off with lightweight champion Islam Makhachev recently on an episode of the Good Guy, Bad Guy podcast, in which he said he is going to choke out his upcoming opponent for UFC 302, Dustin Poirier. The champion stated that every time Poirier fights for the championship, he gets choked out. So in the gym, they've been training something special for Poirier. The champion Makhachev also stated that before the UFC 242 matchup between his training partner Khabib Nurmagomedov and Dustin the Diamond Poirier, they trained backstage for a scenario where Poirier would attempt the guillotine, stating that Khabib getting caught in the guillotine was actually a tactical move for the fight. Makhachev was also asked about a future matchup with BMF champion Max Holloway, in which he stated he needs to clean out his own division first before he can consider a matchup with Max. The champ also stated that people have been critical, saying he's only fighting lightweights, so he needs to fight some quote-unquote real contenders from my division. While speaking to MMA Uncensored, lightweight contender Beneil Dariush says there's other contenders that are more deserving of a title shot than Dustin Poirier, stating, "You could make a better case for guys like Gamrot, he's got a good wrestling pedigree, he beat some tough guys, and Poirier has already had his title shot." The scheduled fight at UFC Louisville between former training partners Michel Pereira and Roman Dolidze may be up in the air, as both fighters are claiming different stories as how the fight came about. Dolidze is saying the UFC said that Pereira agreed to the matchup, so he did too, while Pereira is saying he would not do such a thing as they are training partners and he considers Dolidze a friend. He is not opposed to the matchup though, but says the timing is all wrong. The back and forth between Renato Moicano and Paddy has reached a climax, as both fighters are saying they verbally agreed to a matchup at UFC 304. Bobby Green fired shots at Dylan Dennis on his social media, claiming there's a difference between internet and real life. Bantamweight champion Sugar Sean O'Malley recently released a short clip of himself sparring flyweight champion Alejandra Pantoja back in 2016. In the clip, you can see O'Malley stop Pantoja with a vicious body kick. Speaking of the champ O'Malley, he recently sat down with Raw Talk and was asked about future matchups, and this is what he had to say. Ilya's a tough fight, Max is a tough fight, Merab's a tough fight. There's literally, at this point in my career, there's no easy fight, except for Ryan Garcia. While speaking with the Rush podcast, former welterweight title challenger Colby Covington had good things to say about the bantamweight champion O'Malley, stating, "A lot of these guys are just fighters. I'll show up, I'm going to fight. They have no intellectual depth. They have no thinking where they're more than just a fighter. They can sell these fights, they can create business for the UFC, so that's what Sean does, and that's why I respect him." Recently, UFC superstar Conor McGregor posted a picture of himself in a studio with the caption, "Big announcement coming." Let us know what you think it could be in the comments below. The UFC recently released the official fight poster for Whittaker vs. Chimaev. Former longtime WBC heavyweight champion Deontay Wilder says he does not agree that the fight between Jake Paul and Mike Tyson has been officially sanctioned. He is quoted in saying, "I think it's bad the commission has licensed Mike because he hasn't been active in 20 years. God forbid he gets hurt. There's lots of examples where guys have been hit into a coma. He's too old for this. At the end of the day, no one gives a f about Mike, because if they did, they wouldn't sanction the fight. I don't want the last thing I remember of him to be getting knocked out by a YouTuber." Speaking of the WBC, they have officially ordered Devin Haney to defend his super lightweight title versus Sandor Martin. First bid has started for June 18th. After failing 2 positive drug tests in 2022, Conor Benn is now provisionally suspended by UKAD once again after UKAD and BBBFC has won their appeal against the NADP's decision to lift his suspension. The final face-off just took place between Vasily Lomachenko and George Kambosos Jr. as they face off tomorrow night for the IBF Lightweight Championship. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, like and subscribe.